All right, how you feeling so far after the first couple days of training camp?
Feeling great. The body's adjusting to the training camp life, especially being out here. It's something that I'm not quite used to, but I sort of am. Being in Miami for the past 3 years, so the heat's not so much the problem. It's getting my breath into altitude. That's the big thing. So it's been fun though.
We hear Pete talk all the time about competition. That's kind of his buzzword, and how it comes across in every position group. What's the competition been like among the run squad?
Yeah, no, it's been smooth, honestly. Everybody in the room, we all compete against each other. We're all trying to maximize as many opportunities that we possibly can, and especially the younger guys and Ashton, right? I've been able to help him out in some of his reads and everything like that, and tell him, hey, look, you need to make a one cut instead of trying to jatter at the line of scrimmage, because that just slows your timing down with the O-line. So just little things like that, just trying to help not just him, but a lot of different guys, and they're helping me as well. Just understanding the vision of everything. It's been fun, and the competition's always going to rise up. I always got to lead the room because I'm the older guy in the room, so it's been fun though.
What is that like, being that veteran voice in the room, being that leader to the younger incoming players? Like, all right, you did that on your just change, so you have that trajectory. How's that for you as a leader?
Honestly, I like the challenge. I feel like it's a way for me to display who I am as a player and as an individual, and also to showcase my abilities as being a leader. Right? You want to say you want to be a leader on the team, but for me, it's all about action. And this league is what have you done for me lately? That's the mantra that's always going around. So if I'm able to come in a situation like here and provide my leadership and my presence, and to show everybody that, hey, look, I'm going to put in the work. You could learn from me. Just ask me questions. I'm an easygoing guy. I'm one of those guys that you can come up to and talk to about anything. And if you want to, keep it on the hush, that's fine with me too. I have an open door policy with my personality, as you guys will get to know. So it's a lot of fun, and just wanting to be there for those guys. Because once my career is over with, I want to look back and be like, hey, I helped that guy out, and whether he took the advice or not, I did my part, and that's something that I got to look myself in the mirror.
How real is the learning curve and pass blocking for rookies? It's something that's talked about all the time, but how real is that?
It's really real. The game, and when you're in college, right? And me and Ashton talk about it. When you're in college, you have a lot of different things coming at you. The game's not as fast as like what it is in the NFL. And you have to slow down your thought process. You have to make sure you're reading all the defensive keys that allow you to, in response to whatever the defense is doing. So it's a challenge for guys, especially the young guys, but they're getting the hang of it. Especially this generation, they're picking it up just like that. So
I'm curious if there's something that you learned when you were a rookie, or wish you knew when you were a rookie, that you've been able to kind of impose on these younger guys.
Yeah, one thing that I try to tell guys, even when, looking back when I was a rookie, I had one guy that was, a huge presence, Darren Sproles. I was with Chip with the Eagles, and Darren Sproles was my mentor. He was a guy that I truly leaned on, and one of the things that he helped me out, with my growth, was that hey, look, you might not be the biggest, might not be the strongest or the fastest. In my case, I am the fastest, right? But it's all about your heart and your want to, and your determination, and ultimately your goal. Once you're done playing the game, because this game's been going on for 100 years, right? And so, what can you do to leave your legacy? And that was one of the messages that came across and hit me so hard. If you can start that foundation right now, it's just like building a house, right? You have to have a good foundation. If you can build that foundation as a young guy, and work your way up and continue to showcase yourself each year, in and out every year, that in itself is going to leave behind a good legacy. And that's something that I try to tell the young guys too. So, and they, like I said, they pick up on it.
You mentioned Chip. How have you seen him change? What has it been like being back with him?
Yeah, no, it's honestly it's kind of like a full circle moment for me. I was with him at the Eagles, and then the following year I was with him at the Niners, and then we dispersed, but we always stayed in contact somehow, some way throughout those years. And now now being back with him, you know, the offense is definitely completely different than what I was accustomed to, you know, some odd years later, but years ago. But honestly, man, it's cool to see the growth. It's cool to see, you know, what he can do within the offense, and then, you know, to have guys in this offense, you know, the O-line and even, I mean, Gino is just, you know, I've been a fan of Gino since way back, you know, because he's a guy that's been underestimated most of his career, and people didn't really see him as a starter, and then, you know, he blows up, and now he's with Seattle, with Pete, and, you know, all that combination. It's just it's inspiring in itself. So to be able to have Chip and Gino and all these different pieces around, you know, and Brock and Michael and everybody else, man, it's a good feeling. I have a really strong feeling about this offense. You know, it's something that I haven't felt, you know, for quite some time. I mean, no disrespect to, you know, my previous employers, but, you know, just the camaraderie and being a first-year team is definitely something that's, you know, taking a huge still.
Running back, underestimated bucket too. I mean, an undrafted guy coming into the league, and obviously Chip gives you a chance right away. It seemed like you guys hit it off. Was he big in your career in that way, having a guy believe in you?
Yeah. I mean, obviously because he believed in me. You know, he gave me my opportunity, and I tried to make the most out of it. And, you know, I always bust his chops here and there. I'm like, hey man, you know, you didn't really have to let me go. You know, I was really working my tail off, but nah, it's all fun, man. It's all, you know, it's just a part of the process, and that's something that, you know, as a player, that's what I want. You know, I want those tough times. I want to be able to look back and be like, hey man, it was all worth it. You know, that was one of my biggest things as a player, is just looking back and being like, you know what, you put in the work, you did exactly what you needed to do, and people can't take that from you.
For running backs, Ashton said that he hasn't had his wow moments just yet. Pads on, about to come on here in a few days.
Yeah.
What's the mentality like for running back? Excited to that physicality.
Yeah, I mean, you get better run reads. You know, that's the big thing. You get to showcase, you know, what you're here for. And, you know, me, I've been there and done that before. But I'm excited for Ashton. I'm excited for Sincere. I'm excited for Z. You know, some of the guys that, you know, get that opportunity, and I get to see them in person. You know, it's going to be fun, and I can't wait, because those pads do tell a lot. You know, when you put those pads on, you gotta really bring your stuff. You gotta really have that mentality and that attitude of want to. So it's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Well, with that being said, how important is it, or what's most important for you right now, and the running backs right now in this acclimation before the pads come on?
Just getting used to the footwork. I think that's the biggest thing. Just getting used to the calls and understanding the assignment and the footwork. And then now when you get those pads on, you know, you got to squash all that out of the way, because that should be routine now. Now when you get into the pads, it's more so about getting those fits. You know, having that mesh with your O-line, having that mesh with your quarterback. That's the most important thing.
Thank you.